Okay, we've gone through Winton. It's only a kilometre and a half out of town. Taken the first left-hand turn out to what they call the long waterhole. Looks like there's a couple of vans parked out here, but if you read all the reports, they reckon it will hold about 30 football teams. So obviously there's plenty of room just to pull up and get a camp for a few nights. It's all free. You've got water available in town and a dump point. Road conditions coming in pretty good. So I don't think we'll have much of a problem finding somewhere to pitch up. We're here in Winton at the Winton Qld Legend Stones. In 1995, Winton Shire celebrated 100 years of the country's most famous song and unofficial anthem, Winton Qld, written by A.B. Banjo Patterson. To mark this spectacular occasion, Queensland Events Corporation and Winton Shire Council got together to create an atmosphere of romance and intrigue that has surrounded the song that shaped the nation. And they've got up some stones just with different verses from Winton Qld. And this is just in the main street of Winton. It's quite a long, pretty street. It's really well groomed, looked after, lots of shops, plenty to do in Winton. It's worth the stop over for 2 or 3 days. We're standing outside the Royal Theatre. It's a big open-air picture show in Winton, and it looks like they have events on every Wednesday night. Oh, it shows you some of the old theatre memorabilia. Over here they have a collection of the old glass slides used for advertising during the shows. Again, some more of the old theatre paraphernalia. And this is the entrance into the old theatre. Wow. I'd love to be here on a lovely night watching a movie. This was originally built as a skating ring, and then back in the 60s they put the cover over it and turned it into the open air theatre. We're just inside the museum in Winton. There you go, life-size replica of a carnosaur. This huge animal, an efficient hunter knew how to catch prey that couldn't outrun it. The carnosaur's zigzag approach cornered prey at the lake's edge until one of the larger mammals was bogged down and caught in the muddy shallows. The name is pronounced carnosaur, that means flesh-eating lizard.
In its heyday, a little over a century ago, 600 miners and their families were
Lots of opal on display, or boulder opal. The area is renowned for its boulder opal. As you walk through the museum, it gives you a detail of how Winton came about, the different buildings that went up, when it happened, and why it happened. And like all outback museums, it depicts some of the paraphernalia used back in those days. This museum's all about the wool industry as well, and it just details the history of the town. It's quite interesting. Some of the old photos are really worth stopping and having a good look at. Out the back they've got some shearing displays set up, some models showing how they used to shear with the hand clippers. It goes through, shows you a wool press again. We've seen these in other museums as well. But just details. There's the wool sorting table, the bales, and different bits and pieces used in the wool industry in those days. We're standing in front of the commemorative plaque for the original Qantas landing ground. Today, it's just north of where we're standing, and today there is no visible evidence of the landing ground here. On the 23rd of February 1921, Winton Shire resolved to make a grant to Qantas Limited of half the amount expended in making a landing ground for aeroplanes, up to £20. There you go. Here we are at the famous musical fence and park, and it's just been set up with all bits and pieces. Apparently the musical fence is the only one of its type in the world that's been tuned, and you can actually play it like a musical instrument. And as you can see, Tony's picked up something to play with. She's going to get in there and play with the kids and make some racket. That's a pretty good idea though.
What was that?
We got it all to ourselves.
Okay.
Tony's going to get at it now.
I'm not very good at this shit. I'm noisier than your kids. Oh, what's this thing? Oh, look at that.
And I think that's enough embarrassment for everyone. We're standing out the front of Arno's Park, famous for Arno's wall. The wall is approximately 2 metres high, and it's made up of rock and stones from Opalton, and it's all got different bits of machinery and memorabilia in it. So we'll go down and have a look. It's quite interesting. It just starts off as a normal rock and cement type wall, and then it gets into where it's been expanded. So yeah, been a lot of work go into it, and a lot of thought just to make something different. And there you go, as promised, it's even got the kitchen sink in it. So there you go, wheels, old piston engines, old excavator, mining picks. Cylinder heads, old single cylinder diesel engines. Wow, there's a sign that'd be familiar to a lot of unionists. Yep, Arno's got a letterbox. Also, in case you need it, sewing machine, air compressor, complete with tank. Wow, been a lot of thought go into it. An old ball mill crusher, a complete engine. Wow, a couple of motorcycles. The front of a slow combustion stove. Wow. I have no idea what that is. Oh God. Well, there you go. The famous Arno's wall here at Winton. Okay, we're standing out the front of the Winton Club. The Winton Club. The first club building was a rented cottage which burnt down in 1916. While a new cottage was being built, the club occupied Hood's Estate Coach Building Shop, which later became the shop and showroom of Winton Motors. The club afterwards bought the new cottage from the estate, and additions such as the bar and lounge were made to it in 1924. The Winton Club has a prominent place in Winton's history, as it was here in the visitors' room that the first official board meeting of the Queensland and Northern Territory Aerial Services Limited, known as Qantas, was held on the 10th of February 1921. It was a mere formality called to vote the authority of H.T. Whedon on the company solicitor, and G.M. Morgan Reid, the company secretary, to act on financial matters on the company's behalf. In the period when Qantas expanded from a dream to a reality, however, shaky Winton people showed their faith in its future. Many assisted with the cash, bought shares in the company, or gave their services for nothing. In a unique gesture for those times, the Winton Shire Council agreed to support a federal government initiative to provide a landing strip for Qantas. From these humble beginnings, Qantas grew to be Australia's international flag carrier. It is the oldest airline in the English-speaking world and the second oldest airline operating today. The bar and restaurant contain many items of interesting Qantas memorabilia, and visitors are always welcome. And it is open from 6 p.m. on Friday nights. When you get into Winton, drop into the Opal store. It's all Boulder Opal out of Opalton, and have a chat to Debbie. Got some beautiful opal in there, and some good stories about Opalton. It's well worth popping in and saying good day.